we're really excited that you're here. We're looking forward to providing you with some great information on our catalog services. We'll be right back in just a few seconds. Okay. Well, welcome everyone, and thank you for being with us today for our presentation on cataloging services from Midwest Tape. We'd like to give a special welcome to our CVS customers. We are going to be going to the website later on during the presentation, and it's going to be viewed on the U.S. site. So it may look a little different, but rest assured the functionality is the same. And as I had just mentioned in some of the pre-notes there, we are recording today's presentation. It's going to be available on our website, and I will also be emailing that to each of the registrants within a day or so. I've attached some documents to the handouts area of your live meeting header bar in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. So as we come to the portion of the presentation that the handouts are relevant to, I'll remind you that you can grab those to download for your review after the webinar. My name is Mike Riedemann. I'm joined today by my colleague Lisa Smith, and we're part of the inside sales team here at Midwest Tape. Today we're also being joined by Denise Lehman. She's a cataloging librarian and a member of the MARC data department here. And she's going to be helping out with the Q&A part of today's presentation. Now, if by chance we don't get to your question today, please know that we'll be back in touch with you to make sure that you get the answers you need to your questions. So just please feel free to ask as many questions as you have, as we'll be addressing them during the webinar and afterwards. There may be a case where we simply don't have the details you need on a very specific cataloging or integration type question, but again, please ask them. We'll always make a point to follow up with you personally on those. So with the topic as detailed as AV cataloging, we knew it wouldn't be feasible to cover every nook and cranny of the subject, but instead we did want to really focus on a few core topics related to the subject here. On the registration page, I had asked why you were looking to attend today's webinar, and the overwhelming response was that your library handles your cataloging internally, and you were either just interested in what we have available, or you know that this is something that you and your staff need to consider outsourcing in the near future. Now, there were a few libraries that either use us for some or all of their cataloging needs, and for those I hope you find the info we're presenting helpful and interesting, but we may not cover a whole lot of new ground on like these really detailed manners. But again, you know, I encourage you to send any questions for a specific or detailed topic we may not cover. I want to give you an overview of what some of the reasons are for using Midwest Tape for your MARC records. We're going to be reviewing the types that we have available, as well as what the steps are for obtaining those records, and then what are some of the areas in your cart view or personal settings that can help save you time. And finally, we're looking to address some common questions that we seem to get asked as well. We also want to provide information on some relevant topics on the subject. Cataloging is but one component of a streamlined workflow solution that we offer here at Midwest Tape to better serve libraries. Last month we presented our webinar on processing, and then the next 2 months we'll be focusing on the website tools and collection development features. So we thought this would be a great time to highlight the cataloging services that we're able to offer. the benefits of really tying Midwest tape cataloging services into collection development, processing, or any ODC needs that you have is that you're going to see a reduced number of phone calls and emails and meetings, since everyone on our team is sharing the relevant info. And so by coordinating that data, you and your staff can really realize a smoother overall workflow that's a result of our cohesive efforts here. And I'd like to start off with a poll, if I could, here. Just want to start off by asking, does your library currently have a cataloging subscription with OCLC? I'll give everyone a few seconds to answer that. Now I'll show the poll results. Looks like we're still getting a couple. All right. 3, 2, 1, and I will show. Looks like the overwhelming majority of you do have a subscription, almost 72% there. Well, I thank you for participating. Looks like I skipped back presentation here. If you just hang with me for a second, I apologize. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the catalog features and benefits that we hear from our customers who have taken advantage of our services. First off, you're really saving a lot of time from having to search WorldCat, and with the fact that we have provided the ability to load records into your catalog faster, and so you're saving money overall in your long-term cataloging costs. When you combine our cataloging services with physical processing, you're really in a position to fully receive shelf-ready product. We're also well-versed in mapping 9XX order tags to the proper subfields for the downloadable vendor records that I'll be getting into in just a moment here. But this is really to help streamline importing of high-quality MARC records into your ILS database to create the purchase order, complete with any distribution and fund info. Also, OCLC numbers are always displayed on the catalog and website. This is also included in a downloadable CSV file and vendor records that you're able to pull right off the website. And this is helping in a variety of ways for different library workflows. Lisa's going to be showing you on the web demonstration portion of the presentation where you can find those vendor records and on the product description page. Also have the ability for you to receive barcode linking. We can link your 949 tags to your barcode to ensure item record creation. And this is available only on the assisted delivery of full MARC records. I'll be talking about this very soon. And then in regards to overlays, we provide solutions for successful overlaying of records into ILS. We work with a lot of libraries for coordination with a variety of ILS systems. So we've got that knowledge to assist you in dealing with added copies to your catalog and overlaying the full records on top of a short order record. So when you utilize Midwest Tape for your cataloging needs, you have access to experts in cataloging and ILS coordination. So let's take a look at the type of records that we have available. We offer different levels of cataloging so that you can select which one is best for your library. Now, due to this flexibility, you have the option to change the type of record for your library at any time. We offer brief vendor records. We offer MARC on the spot. MARC on the spot records are full MARC records that are able to be downloaded from the website. Full MARC records, those are records that can't be downloaded from the site. These are going to include records that have information that's tied to them at the processing level so that they're not going to be emailed to you until the day of the shipment. Now, we also offer customized MARC records for libraries that are going to see or need to see all of the local editing practices included in their record. And whether that's specific tags like subject heading or BIDEX or Spanish, we can do that, as those cannot be machine programmed. And one question that we get on customized records a lot is, well, how customized can we go and what are the costs? Like a lot of things here at Midwest Tape, it's very customizable. So for this service, we really need to speak with you on what your particular needs are and find out all the info that your practices dictate. So for this service, we'll schedule a conference call to discuss what your expectations are, and then we'll provide a customized quote based on those expectations. I'll be providing you with that contact info you need if you're interested in discussing that further with a cataloging rep. Now, for these different types of records, I've included a handout here that is a chart comparing these 4 different types of records. So you can download this PDF by clicking on the handouts icon that's located on the top right corner. It's that 3 pieces of paper icon. If you click on that, you're going to see a file labeled 4marc.us.pdf. So let's take a little bit closer look at our vendor records. These are free. They're robust records that are able to be downloaded from the website, either at the cart stage or after you've placed an order for the titles. And you notice, for the free DVD vendor record sample, it's a very robust record. We've got some tags in there that, you may not see in others. Vendor records can be used for order records. They're not full OCLC records, and they're not going to include things like call numbers or your local editing practices, nor can they really contain specific info like, barcoding. But for a lot of libraries, these are perfect as those order records. These can be populated with 9XX tags, as well as static information that can be programmed to suit your library. If there is something that you're interested in that manner, please, again, just feel free to contact us, and we'll get that set up. And you'll notice on that free CD or vendor record sample that I was showing you, one thing that we keep hearing from libraries that they really like is the fact that we list all the tracks for that particular CD, so that's a great feature. And I'll arrow back one here, and you can see it right there at the 505 tagline there. So let's talk a little bit more about the 9XX order tags. In this area, there's no charge for the programming of the 9XX tags to our downloadable vendor records. We work with all major ILS systems like Innovative, Horizon, Circe, Polaris, TLC. These populate your vendor records to show specific funds, locations, and collection codes. And so it really eliminates that need to hand create the orders in your system. We can also program any needed static data into other defined tags like the 092, the 099, and 590. For example, if you need a tag to always read DVD on order for all DVD titles, we can do that. And in the handout section, I want to let you know that I've included a PDF. It's titled 9XX_whitepaper-us.pdf. And this handout is going to specify the information we would need for some common ILS systems in order to get this started. If you don't see your particular ILS system in that, just let us know, and we will make every effort to ensure an effective transition to 9XX ordering. On this slide, I wanted to demonstrate that the data that can be included in the vendor record can be added easily into your order from the cart stage on our website. Here we're looking at a screenshot in the Instructions tab in the cart view, where you can enter such info like a spine label, line item info, and any internal notes. And Lisa will point that out real quickly, that instructions tab there when we go to the web demonstration part here. You know, for populating the records with your locations, I've included a screenshot here of where you can enter the quantities for each branch you're ordering for. Again, this is on our cart view page in our Smart Cart. This is the quantity tab. So if you need branches set up to appear on your login under the website, just give us a call and we'll make sure those branches appear for you. And those will end up showing up on the 970 tag or the 960 tag, depending on which system you're with. Now, before I get into some of the details of our full MARC records, I wanted to discuss a little bit our relationship with OCLC, with whom our full MARC records are made possible in conjunction with. We've been working with OCLC for more than a decade now. We were one of the first distributors to partner with them. And AV cataloging has a little bit of a different angle than book cataloging, as I'm sure you know. So when you choose to purchase your full records from Midwest Tape, you're really getting the expertise through us for AV material and making sure that the right info on the record matches exactly what you receive. We typically catalog all hot new release titles about 3 weeks prior to street date. And we verify when we receive product that the info is correct and updated in WorldCat. Basically what happens in the process is that when a full record is ordered, this is going to prompt our system to start looking for that record. Our MARC data department here at Midwest Tape searches WorldCat to find an existing record. Now if it's found, we collect the OCLC record and review it to verify that it matches the product and to make sure that it meets our standards, making sure things like the Dewey call numbers and other minimum standards are showing up there. If everything looks good with the record, we'll pull that into our system, but if it's not meeting the standard, we'll then contact OCLC to get things going on the right track. Now, if after we're searching WorldCat we don't see a record, we'll create a level K record, and that's basically our vendor record, and send it to OCLC. And we actually manage this workflow through a website we've built specifically to manage this process. And through that, we'll be alerted when it becomes available, at which point we recheck and verify before we make it available. Some of the common issues we'll run into that makes the verification part on our end so important includes actual product info like the quantity of this, or the title may change slightly, or the inclusion of subtitles, changes in readers, track listings, the Blu-ray special features, different languages contained, so on and so forth. Recently, Midwest Tape switched to a new ERP system, so we're really looking forward to allowing an even better potential to update these records when things like that change. So with full MARC records, let's start off with MARC on the spot. And again, MARC on the spot, it's merely the term we use to describe the process of downloading a full MARC record from our website. This is unique to Midwest Tape, and it can be done before you've ordered an item, or if you haven't ordered it at all from us. So perhaps you've received a donation. If we have that item in our database, you can feel free to download that full record if we have it available. MARC on the spot records are $1.20 per title. We charge this one time, so if you do purchase this record, you're not going to be charged again for downloading it any subsequent times. Our MARC records program has multiple duplicate checks to make sure the system is in place, and we can also make sure that your holdings are attached in your full records, as we have the ability to enter any static info that needs to be seen in the record. And the downloading of MARC on the spot, it really eliminates the tedious task of having to overlay by different match points. Full MARC records, those are emailed at the time of the product shipment. Now those also start at $1.20, but full MARC records can contain the barcode linking or even the inclusion of call numbers. barcode linking is about 25 cents per 949 tag. And this barcode info isn't going to appear on the Mark on the Spot service, since this is specifically for your item. It's not done until the product ships, but this is one more way that we can help make sure that your material is shelf ready and able to be put on the floor as soon as you receive it. We typically catalog those hot new release titles about 3 weeks prior to street date, and we verify when we receive the product that that info is correct and updated in WorldCat. We'll typically catalog all hot new release titles like, you know, DVD feature films and top music hit titles and the New York Times Top 100 audiobooks and playaways, again, about 3 weeks prior to street date. And one thing I want to make a point here is that if you have ordered items from us that have not received a full MARC record, and you've ordered that and you haven't received it yet, you can always check on the status of those titles through our outstanding Mark on the Spot report. Lisa's going to be pointing that out here in a little bit. It's an example of a full CD MARC record sample. And we also have a full audiobook sample here. I included this slide here. I want to give you a little bit different look at the delivery options we have available for each kind of record before we go to the website. So with vendor records, usually you'll download the record from the site or by FTP and then place your order. But again, these can always be pulled from either your open orders listing or the listing of all your previously shipped items. With full MARC records, you submit the order, and then the materials invoice and ship. And on the same day, we send your full MARC records, either by email or they can also be delivered by FTP. And again, with MARC on the Spot, it's really best used for libraries who want to download full records before the order is placed, and you only take full records. And I just want to make sure that it's clear that you can receive full MARC records prior to or after the product ships. It's really up to you. And so at this point, I think we're going to head over to the website then. Lisa's going to point out a few areas for where you go to download records, how you can check and see which one has a full OCLC record available or the vendor records. She's going to talk to you about setting up personal preferences or configuring the vendor records, and also the how to view outstanding records report. And so with that, Ms. Lisa Smith.
Thank you, Mike. That's a great intro. I appreciate it. All right, from here, I'm going to go ahead and administer a second poll.
Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Hi. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that introduction. I did not have my microphone on. Thanks, everybody, for coming. And I want to throw out there really quick, we do have 65 different libraries attending our webinar today. So, again, we want to thank you for coming. I'm quickly going to administer another poll. Let's go to poll number 2. Okay, if you can go ahead and take a moment. For those who are interested in looking further in the Midwest tape for your records, what type of records would best suit your needs? Do you think it would just be our free vendor records, full OCLC records, or perhaps some customized level records? And then we have an option both vendor and full, which a lot of people utilize. Most of our customers utilize our free vendor records from our website for many different purposes. Now, it does look like, good majority of you are want both vendor and full OCLC records. Very good. Just a couple more seconds. Let me see if I can display showing the poll results. Yeah, we've got 44% of you are interested in both vendor and full records. Okay, very good. Thank you so much for taking a moment. I'm going to close the polls, and I'm going to take you to our website. So here we go. All right, so I am logged in. Here's the Midwest tape website, and be sure if you're doing a lot of scrolling, go ahead and remember to select that full page on the bottom right hand of your screen to maximize your viewing formats. All right. Now I'm going to go to the View Cart area. I've got a cart already in place. Let's say I put together these titles. These, I believe, 8 titles here. Or 7 titles here. And I want to first show you, next to the titles in this cart, you can see this little WorldCat pinwheel here. All right, what that symbol does, that indicates that there is a full OCLC record available for download. Okay, that's our MARC on the spot service. So that means there are 3 records available immediately. So you get that immediate full OCLC record. I also want to point out, now, if I go down, if I have Live by Night selected up here at the top, and if I go to my Details tab, notice there is not a MARC record, a full record available for this title just yet. But let's say I want to view the vendor record. Well, first of all, what you do is you go down to the product details, and anytime you see that magnifying glass with the on the piece of paper there, you can click on that to view the vendor record. Okay, so that's going to give you the information that you will be receiving when you download. And there's no call numbers. I want to point out that there's no subject headings or call numbers included in these vendor MARC records. They're not full records, but they're also free. These are the free records, and these are mainly for the purpose of creating 9XX orders as well as creating your on-order records. All right, thank you. All right, I'm going to go ahead and click out of there. But again, it's all over the place. You can see these icons. So these are kind of important, and I wanted to be sure that you were aware that they were there. Now I'm going to select this title that has the OCLC WorldCat symbol of it, on it, because this record's available. It's going to show in the title details. All right, so, all right. Next, I'm going to go ahead and point out the Quantity Instructions tab. Again, I'm in a cart. I'm in my shopping cart, and Mike had showed you earlier that for 9XX and processing customers, this is where you can enter in any necessary branch or fund information, as well as any specific, see how I did that? I went to this Instructions tab. I'll scroll up there. This is where you can enter in any necessary branch or fund information and specific information meant for 9XX ordering or processing requirements. Okay, so you put them in those instruction lines. This is something you have to have set up with us, okay? And it's very easy. It's all a free service, and it helps alleviate a lot of hand keying. It alleviates the time that it takes to do this. We can do this for you. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you, next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how to download these records that Mike has been talking about. We are going to start with our vendor records. It's a very simple process. It's pretty quick, too, so it's not a 10-minute ordeal here. I'm in my cart, and keep in mind, the Midwest Tape website allows you to download information straight from your shopping cart. You can do this before you place your order, or even after you place your order. So if this is a step you forgot to do, and you've already sent your order in, you've already hit checkout, don't worry, you can still download this information. Okay? We're doing it pre-order. All right, so I'm going to go to download, and I want to obtain my vendor, or what we used to call brief, MARC records. So I'm simply going to click that, and hopefully you can all see this. A download wizard window pops up, and it's going to list out my titles. I want every single title in this cart. I want every vendor record. I'm going to go ahead and hit check all. Notice to the right-hand side, I do not have any fund or branch quantity information included in this cart, and it's kind of red flagging you to let you know that you don't have any funds selected or branch quantities selected. You know, you can continue on with this procedure regardless of if you have that information or not, okay? But if you want to have that included in your records, please, apply those. All right. So I'm going to hit next, and it's going to ask you how you would like these files delivered. Again, it's going to default a vendor MARC record file, which is going to be a .mrc, Or, obviously there's the CSV or the Excel. How would you like them delivered? Do you want them through your browser, or you can have them emailed? Okay, I talk and speak with a lot of libraries that have networks and consortiums, and what they'll do, they're individual selectors. Will have individual selectors that will have their carts, and they will download their vendor records, and they will populate that email field with some, like a point person at their consortium, and it will just immediately send that file. They'll check out they'll do the download wizard, and it'll immediately send it to that person so they can update their catalog. Okay, so it kind of eliminates many steps while you do that. All right, I would go ahead and click next, but it's in .mrc format, so it will just ask you, actually, it's going to ask you to download the file, and then it would come up from there, and that's if you get it through your browser. All right, so that's it. That's how you download those free vendor records. Next, let's talk about MARC on the Spot. So now I'm going to select MARC on the Spot. This is a wonderful service that we offer to our customers. You don't have to wait for your product to receive the MARC records. These are full OCLC records that have already been created that are available online on our website for immediate download. And as Mike said, there is a $1.20 charge per record. And if you are a first-time user of this service on our website, you'll be presented with a window requesting your acknowledgement of that $1.20 charge. Okay, we'll also ask you for your contact info, how you became aware of our MARC on the Spot service, and it will also ask you for your OCLC character symbol if you're a current member. So you just fill it out, and then you're as long as the system is part of those titles, you can go ahead and download these full MARC records without having to actually check out the cart. Okay? So this may be helpful in that aspect. Excuse me. All right, so I went ahead and I clicked download and I chose my MARC on the Spot. And it comes up with this screen here. Notice my top titles. These are titles that I have full MARC records available for, so I'm going to go ahead and check those. I hope you can all see that. I'm going to expand this. I hope you can read that okay. That comes through. So on the top level, I've got 3 titles that I have records available for. And then if you notice in the bottom half here, I've got 4 titles that they're not available for. They're not yet completed. However, you can choose to download our free vendor records instead until the full ones are ready. Okay? So if I check all of those, you can get both of them. So notice it keeps a tally. So far we've got $3.60. When these records are available, we will email them to you, but then you will also incur that $1.20 charge as well. A couple things before I go to the next screen that I want to point out, and let's see. If you look at this top line here, at this title, if you notice that little magnifying glass, this takes you to, if you click on this, this is what we call link to your OPAC. Linking to your OPAC, links to your catalog. You can actually turn this, and this title in your catalog. And let me see if it works on this computer. There we go, Sonoma County. So it actually uses that title that's in my cart. I go directly there. It's a direct window into your catalog, and it has you search. Okay? So that's a free service that you can also have. I do want to point that out while we were there. Okay. Where did we go? I lost my window. Here you go. Nope. Where is it? Here we go. Here it is. Sorry about that. Okay. So I've got 3 full MARC records and 4 vendor records. We've got our duplicate symbols, as you can see. I'm going to hit next. And again, it's going to ask you about delivery options. So it's really just 3 steps, and I just took 5 minutes to explain the first 2. And honestly, when you do this over and over again, it literally will not you more than a minute or 2 minutes at a time to get this information to you.
Lisa,
yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I was going to say, there are a lot of steps you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
I did include these as handouts on the handouts area. So if they go to that icon with the 3 pieces of paper, they're going to see the download instructions for those. So.
Great. Thank you for reminding me. Yep, this is all included in the handouts. And again, we're also available for like a step-by-step instruction. But the last screen on this MARC on the Spot record delivery, it's going to ask you again how you would like your delivery sent to you via your web browser. If you get the file sent to you via your web browser, what that is you can just save it to your desktop if you'd like. And then from there, you can import it into your ILS system through your acquisitions module to automatically populate. A lot of people use it that way. You can have it emailed to yourself, or there's multiple email addresses just separated out by a comma, depending on your workflow and what your needs are and who needs to see them. All right, and then again, it's very intuitive, very intuitive. This second half down here, it says, yes, I want completed MARC records emailed to me when they become available. And again, it's going to tell you this will cost $1.20. Or you can say no, thank you, and just keep the vendor records that we've chosen. Okay? All right. So that is the procedure for downloading MARC on the Spot. Again, it takes less than a minute. Now, I'm going to show you the third thing down here that you can download very quickly. This is an Excel or CSV file. All right, you can go ahead, and again, your download wizard, let's say you use spreadsheets to keep track of your orders. You have your own system, way of doing things. Sometimes I've got some customers that do order cards that I can, and you can use a mail merge of this data file. You can pull a data file and merge into a Word document to create your order cards. This is the perfect place to do it. Saves you from keystrokes and hand keying and all that information in yourself. So I want to just kind of show you real quick. Again, I'm going to select these titles because I want information pulled from the Midwest tape system of these titles. And it's going to select, see there, a Microsoft Excel or a .xls file. At the top is a CSV file. That's just another spreadsheet that's compatible with different forms of Excel as well. I'm going to deliver this through my browser. I'm going to hit Next. Excuse me. The cool part about this feature that we have to offer is you can select different columns to include in your file. All right, so of course, you're going to want the title information, the media, number of discs. You can check off whichever titles and whichever pieces of information you want to include in the spreadsheets. All right, notice you can also include OCLC. You can include the OCLC number. If there is an OCLC number available, and we have it on our website for that title, you can include that in the spreadsheet. There are a number of things that you could probably use this for. It's your library, so use it to your advantage. Go ahead and download that info. All right, make sure you include column headers in the first row of the file. You're going to hit Next. I'm going to download this file, and I'm going to have to share this with you, so it's not going to pull up right away. So I'll give you an example. Okay, let's share. There we go. Okay, there's my cart. I've taken a cart from the Midwest Tape website and downloaded it into an Excel spreadsheet. And then from there, you can do whatever you want. Again, you can do this with carts that you've already ordered. Okay, so carts that you've submitted for order, if you want to tally up different forms of information, feel free to do so. Okay. All right, I'm going to go back to the website now. Couple things that I would like to point out, and this is in terms of downloads. Under your Settings tab, and this is for all users or individual users, the personal settings that you see at the top, this is available to all users. Now, the library settings down at the bottom, those are only available to admin. But if you are a selector and you're doing downloads regularly, here's some automation options that may save you a couple steps or some time. You can set your downloads. You can set your vendor and MARC on the spot records. If you're constantly emailing them to, let's say, your acquisitions person or your cataloger at your library for review, you can just simply select Send via Email to and pop in that email there. That way, every time you download, you don't have to fill in that email, okay? Same thing with order lines. You can download immediately via browser or send FTP or send via email to. Go ahead and populate that field in with that person. Here's where the FTP information goes into, the FTP URL and the port. Now this you'll have to work with Kelly and Randy on to get that set up if you are interested in sending information via FTP. Okay? So just definitely wanted to show you that. And one thing here under personal preferences, another thing, you can consistently have your vendor MARC records in your carts. They've got check boxes in there. If you check this right here, check this line, you can always have that box checked. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Under personal preferences, if this is checked here, under my view cart, see right here, down at the bottom half of the screen, you may have to scroll down to see it. I'm on the Quantity tab. Next to your fund and branch distribution information, there are two boxes there, one for vendor MARC and one for OCLC-MARC. If you check that box under personal preferences, it will constantly have that checked every time. Okay? So just the step saver. I'm going to go to the Tools tab. We talked a lot about our outstanding MARC on the spot report. What I demonstrated earlier from our cart, from the view cart when I went to download our MARC on the spot full MARC records, which again is a full OCLC record available immediately for download. Some aren't always available. They're not ready yet. They're not completed. So when you request the vendor records in place of the full records, while you're waiting, we have a report that shows you. And actually, let me show you the sample. You go to Tools, you click on the Outstanding MARC on the Spot report, and it's going to list out your MARC delivery status. Okay, so you can go here. So if this is something you use often, you might want to check it often. You might want to check it weekly to see what records you're waiting for full records. Okay, it's going to give you the title, your product ID, stock number, who at your library requested it. Obviously, it's going to be OCLC, that's the record type, and probably the most important detail, the date requested. Okay? So that's what that report's going to look like. And, that's a service available, if necessary, if you utilize the MARC on the Spot feature service often. And one last thing that I'm going to go over. I mentioned quite a few times that you're able to download vendor records, Excel spreadsheets, as well as MARC on the Spot to other carts that have been ordered or shipped or so forth. And let me show you where you do that. Under Tools, you go to Search Orders, and this is going to list out your open carts, your deleted carts. Yes, you can still get this information from deleted carts. Ordered, shipped, and canceled. Let's go to Shipped. Okay. So this is an order that's already shipped. This is quite a while ago. But if I select my cart, say I forgot to download the vendor record information, I can simply select that cart, and all the features are available down here. Look, I can download my vendor MARCs, download MARC on the Spot, download CSV, or whatever you wish to do. Okay? So that's handy just to have, just in case. So it's not an all-or-nothing deal. You don't miss out on anything. So I definitely wanted to point that out under our tools area. I like to, and this is available to anybody at the library, not just admins. So selectors can do that as well. So selectors, if you accidentally check out a cart without downloading your vendor records first, you can go to your ordered area and select them. All right, and that is all I have for the website portion and showing you and demonstrating how to obtain those records that Mike has been talking about. And I'm going to go ahead and pass this presentation back on to Mike Riedemann. I cannot hear you.
All right.
Let me get back to the PowerPoint for you, too. I can't hear you now. One more time. We mute our headsets just to FYI. Well, when it's presenting, we go ahead and mute. And no, it's not working.
I'm just going to use yours. Well, great. Thank you, Lisa, very much. Appreciate it. At this point, I wanted to address some related topics and start with the issue of opening day collections. We know that when you're opening a new branch, we know how busy you are with all the details that go with the lead up of opening day. We really have the experience and expertise to provide cataloging services for all the titles that you order for your ODC. We work very closely with you to provide tailor-made selection lists based on a profile that's created by your selectors and our collection development experts. And order placement can be done from your shopping cart on the website or by an approved Excel file or placed electronically from your iOS. Either way, we can help guide you in this process and make sure that all of your cataloging and processing needs are done. And that will help save you time and money. Now, when it comes to break-apart sets, like trilogy movies or a double pack, or even the larger collections that contain a lot of discs, well, first off, a break-apart set is made up of the individual standalone features that are usually, but not always, individual movies which have been packed together. Well, many times OCLC will not catalog these as a set, so we've gotten a workaround, I should say, in our system that triggers the cataloging to be per feature and the processing to match. You're then able to circulate the items separately, and the patron can check out the items one at a time as opposed to that entire set. This allows you to receive the item individually while still giving you the benefit of set pricing and convenient ordering. Now, about bonus material, as studios continue to push more and more for the Blu-ray, for movies through the combo packs, we know this is a common concern. And, due to the complexity of the programs for cataloging and our VIP services and processing, all break-apart sets must be cataloged as they're linked in our internal database. Our cataloging department decides how something is linked really by looking at the actual product and making the call there. And this is the only way we can accurately deliver these items cataloged, processed, or shelf-ready. But upon request, we can move all break-apart sets to a non-cataloging account for you. And in that way, we can send those out unprocessed and uncatalogued if that's something that you wish to do. A quick note on invoicing. We can provide your MARC charges on the invoice that have your material invoiced on. As an FYI, the MARC and processing charges can only appear on a separate invoice if you accept a batched monthly detailed invoice. But if you have any specific questions in this area, just let us know what your needs are and what you're looking to achieve, and we'll always do whatever we can to help you out with that. Many of you have expressed interest in our upcoming digital media platform. This is called Hoopla. And we're going to be offering a cloud-based digital media platform which has been designed exclusively for libraries by the end of the year. Many have wondered what we're going to be able to offer in the way of cataloging with this service. And so today I just wanted to let you know that we will have records available, but these are going to be vendor records. And finally, I wanted to address the issue of RDA. As most of you already know, these are the new rules for cataloging that the Library of Congress is looking to implement in March of 2013. We know this is a concern out there. We wanted to address it in today's webinar. We're currently working internally on this project and with OCLC to develop strategies to help with this conversion, because we know that not all libraries are going to be able or ready to convert all at the same time. So we're looking to have a process in place to convert the RDA type records back into the AACR2 type records. As we have more info available, we're certainly going to share it with you. And one of those areas that we do that in is our blog, News and Views. Our blog is located on the left-hand side of our homepage, and you can subscribe to the content as we present it. If you have an idea or a subject for our blog, please let us know. This is where we like to communicate with you on all things related to the world of AV for libraries. This is a slide of some of our cataloging specialists, and I want to let you know that I do have a contact PDF in the section. When you work with Midwest Tape, you're going to have access to cataloging specialists. Ashley Swick is our cataloging coordinator. She can discuss with you in depth what your cataloging needs are and help you with setting the records up. Kelly Jo works a lot in order record programming with 9XX tags that are mapped to the appropriate subfields, also the item linking to barcodes through the 949 tag. And, you know, together with Randy Sellhorst, they can help guide you through the complete EDI setup and testing and get you on the right path to complete electronic ordering capabilities. I want to mention real briefly some of the upcoming webinars that we're going to have here. Next month, our topic is going to be just a very basic intro to the Midwest Tape website. And we have that located on the website now, so please feel free to register. You know, anyone on your staff who, you know, needs a basic intro to that. And at this point, I think we're going to do a little Q&A here. Denise, you get some questions there you think you might be able to answer?
Again, this is Denise. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Denise, we can hear you. This is Denise Lehman. She's been handling our Q&A throughout the webinar presentation, and we thank her very much for joining us today. And she's going to go ahead and go over some of the questions that we received.
Hello, everybody, and thanks for having me here today. Sorry. Lisa, thank you for your introduction. I'm Midwest Tape's cataloging librarian, and we had a few questions that I thought would be pretty interesting for everybody to hear the answers to. A couple of questions we got, one of which is when we provide your full records, do we update your holdings in OCLC? And the answer to that is yes. We update your holdings after we send the records out to you, which happens at the same point in time that that your order is sent to you. So you receive your records a couple of days before your order. You receive your order, and we also start sending the holdings update to OCLC at that time, and it usually takes a couple of days for a turnaround. Another question we had was, can we describe the difference a little bit better between the vendor records and the full level records? And the main difference is that the vendor records are populated from the same metadata that we use to keep up our website. So it's not going to have a lot of the details that that a full level record will have. It won't have, for example, it won't let you know if it's a surround sound or, and since we have that up here for the CDs. Now, this is our vendor record, so as you can see, there are no call numbers here. There's no 082 or 092 fields. There's a local 650, but there's no Library Congress or SEER subject headings available for those. And then we have a question from Christine. And her question is, how long does it take to get the MARC on the spot when they are not available and the vendor record is chosen in the meantime? That's a great question. Well, when you choose the vendor record, the MARC on the spot, it varies depending on when the street date is for the item that you've selected. So if it's something that doesn't come out for another 6 months, typically we don't start the cataloging process until no greater than 6 weeks before the product is available. So that way we can get the best information possible to make the best record we can. Now, often our records need to be updated for the once we get the product in, because pre-public information is not the same as the actual product itself. But we have records available. They should be available no less than 2 weeks before street date. That's our goal. And we have a question from Heather. And her question is, if we get the full record after the vendor, does it merge automatically into our system? That's a great question. Actually, the vendor record is a placeholder, and there are several overlay points that we have for the records in order to overlay them into your system. So it would merge automatically. Now, when you get vendor records, another thing vendor records are lacking are OCLC numbers. A lot of time that is either because we haven't created or haven't searched for the OCLC number yet. So that wouldn't be our point of overlay. But there are other points that we use. We use our stock numbers, and we use the UPC or ISBN numbers to overlay into your system.
Let's see. Did we have any other questions? Do you want to go over?
Not really. I went over how we updated the holdings, and we did some comparison to the vendor record and full level records. Mike has a question.
Well, really, one thing that I've heard sometimes from our customers is that when they choose to download a file to their computer, sometimes it's going to say download complete, but no files appearing on the computer, and they don't know what happened. And so a lot of times what I've seen is that if you're using Internet Explorer, you need to set up our site as a trusted site. And to do that, you just need to go under your tools and go into those Internet options. There is a security tab where you can go in to allow Midwest Tapes as a trusted website there. You just enter the Midwest Tapes website, www.midwesttapes.com, in that uppermost field on the screen. And when you click Add, our web address is going to display in the lower box. You just need to close it out and hit OK. And then when you reopen our website, you just proceed then with your downloads, and that should do it. But, you know, again, I'm sure there are other questions that are going to pop up later, so we just encourage you to call us and get in touch with us, and we'll do everything we can to answer your questions immediately. And just to let you know, I'm going to be sending out a survey very soon, and we ask you to fill that out and send it back to us. It really helps us evaluate, you know, where we're at with these webinars. I'm going to be asking you for some suggestions for, you know, future topics. We have a Librarian's Choice webinar coming up in a few months, so any feedback you can give us on that. But we really ask that you evaluate our performance today. And anyone who completes that survey and sends it back and completes it, we're going to enter your name in to win a Starbucks gift certificate. So we'd like to, with that, thank you everyone for joining us today. We're really happy that you were here, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.